if you wake up in the middle of the night and struggle falling back to sleep, this video is for you. The first step that you shall take is to normalize these awakenings. I know it might sound strange to hear, especially from me, who teaches sleep, but the fact that you wake up in the middle of the night doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. It can mean something else. It shows us that there is something is holding, your nervous system is under pressure, something is happening, your body is processing something. That's how it begins. But then, by this struggle that we have, by this constant feeling of failure, we create even bigger problem. But let me share my own story. I struggled with sleep most of my life from childhood. I remember I was like about 10 or 11 years old. I was in Russia in the hospital. I was sick with something I even don't remember right now. But rooms in Russian hospitals back then had like 5, 6 people. So it was no privacy. So we shared room always. And I remember that I had that sleep problem. I would wake up in the middle of the night and was not able to go back to sleep. And I couldn't even turn on the light. It was dark because I would wake up other people. And there were no smartphones, no iPads, no apps, no meditation, audio recordings, no podcasts. I really didn't know what to do. So I remember I would take a book and gently go out to a hallway and would read my book with this dim light. And I remember I felt really so lonely at those moments. Silence, nobody is there, everybody is asleep. This really strange sensation that everybody in the world knows how to sleep except me. And back then I didn't really know about sleep cycles, cortisol, insomnia. I only knew one thing, that I was awake and everybody else was asleep. And later on, in a couple of years, I had really very severe sleep problems. And the same feeling returned. This moment, we always feel very, very lonely. And we begin to feel that something is wrong with me. Why can't I sleep? It's unhealthy. I would check clock, I would calculate how many hours is left till the morning, and will I be able to get this 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep at night at least. So it was really lots of body is in bed, but the mind is working, worrying, calculating hours, feeling disappointed, and lots of other struggles. And here the problem is not awakening themselves. The problem is what comes next, what we begin to feel and think, and how our whole experience is happening. So, and I know that many people can relate to that. So, let's dive deeper into how to normalize these awakenings in the middle of the night. If it's possible, try not to check your phone. I know it's really sometimes difficult, right? Because it's very natural to check, okay, what time is it? Did I sleep enough or not? Can I afford sleeping more, or it's morning? But if it's possible, try not to watch at your clock. And right now, some people are really advanced. They have smartwatch, they have special rings, and these devices monitor all the stages of sleep, and they basically, like, you have a little judge with you, right? Because every morning you receive some records, right? So you receive, like, something is determines for you if you had a good night's sleep or not. So these smartwatches and Oura rings, they actually make you more anxious. It's okay to test yourself once, to diagnose yourself, but they absolutely don't help you to improve your sleep. Many people actually have problem that they are afraid of wakening at night more than afraid of being tired. Because waking itself means something. Usually it means failure, loss of control, proof that sleep is broken, something is wrong with you, you need fixing. But what if waking at night is not the enemy? What if it's just a normal human experience? So let understand sleep, the biology of sleep. Most of us imagine that a good healthy sleep is when you go to bed, fall asleep fast, remain unconscious till morning, and then wake up and feel good. But that's not how actually sleep works. Sleep moves in cycles. And throughout the night, we wake up repeatedly between all these sleep stages. We move, we scratch, we change something, but we don't notice them. Person who doesn't have sleep problem, just the brain doesn't register even those moments. But if there was some period in life when we carried too much, we were under pressure, and then we kept waking up at night a couple of times, and then we noticed these awakenings and we conclude that it's not good. And then our brain is constantly monitoring expecting those moments to happen or afraid of this, and there is so much going on around this waking me. So we ourselves create this extra tension, and the more tension we create, the more elusive sleep becomes, feels. So there is also physiology. In the second part of the night, our body naturally begins to prepare for the day, for a wakefulness. So that's why our cortisol level increasing, and sensitive for people or people with lots of stress feel this cortisol rise. And again, they feel something is wrong because usually it comes with extra activation, some thoughts appear, and then we think, oh, it's really something very bad. It must not be happening. Something is wrong. I need to be fully relaxed at this moment, and I'm so active. I'm activated. So, but it's really an absolutely natural process. Just the problem is that you cannot fall asleep, and your system learns to register every moments of awakening. So that's the real problem. So that you register that signal as something bad is happening. And then the brain goes into this overthinking, relationships, health, future, money, work, everything that is relevant to your life. So one of the biggest shifts that I personally experienced that helped me to solve the sleep problem. I really don't have sleep problem at all. Doesn't mean that I sleep through the night every day. No. Sometimes I can wake up, but I know how to go back to sleep. There is not a problem. So here's the important shift, that sleep is not the goal. Rest is the goal. So it sounds ridiculous, right? You know that sleep is important. We need to repair, have all of that systems, right, getting repaired and so on. But sleep is not something that we can force. But rest, yes, we can force rest. So we can always have access to our breath, to the body. So instead of asking yourself, how do I make myself sleep? Let's ask another question. How can I make this moment more restful? Rest is the goal. And once you remove that demand from sleep, system softens. Because rest is available for you. Sleep doesn't. Sleep comes on its own when conditions are right. And your job is to create those conditions and stop waiting for sleep to come. Your goal is rest. And rest is so much closer to sleep than worries or overthinking. choose rest. Okay, so one of the easiest ways to create those conditions of safety where sleep is invited is through breath. Begin by simply noticing your breathing, even right now. As you sit here and listening to me, just simply notice your breath. And now let's see if you can make your exhale a little bit longer. Okay, very good. And now, absolutely my favorite breath practice. So you begin by inhaling and fully expanding your belly. Then you expand your chest, fill your chest with air. And then when you feel cannot inhale any longer, you still make an effort to inhale and then pause like 6 seconds. And then exhale very, very slowly through your mouth as if you're breathing through a straw till your belly fully contracts so that there is no air left in your body. Let's try it a couple of times. And last time. Do you feel a slight shift? Maybe you feel a little bit dizzy. A little bit dizziness is totally okay. If you have a really headache, you can stop doing it. But usually it's actually regulation, right? This breath brings regulation to our system. Because very often, if we have racing thoughts, if we have that extra activation, our muscles are tight and we have a little bit shallow breath. Chest is tight. So with this breath, our diaphragm comes up and down, and the body receives a signal that it's rest, it's safe, and that's exactly the conditions when sleep is invited. But again, let's not worry if sleep comes or not. Sometimes your sleep can come, sometimes it doesn't. Doesn't matter. Just feel that softening and focus on the rest, because your body still will receive that valuable relaxation. And another thing, instead of being busy with your thoughts, your attention simply rests on the experience of breathing. And slow exhales activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the one that is responsible for rest, recovery, digestion, and it communicates safety to the body. We are creating the conditions where sleep is invited, not demanded. And after this breath work, you can also tune to your entire body and notice how does it feel, how the muscles. If you feel that your shoulders are a little bit tight, drop them, relax them, open up your chest. Don't have to do it perfectly, but just 35%. Notice the surface beneath you. Notice the points of contact with that surface. Notice the blanket on you, pillow. And you can offer yourself some soothing words. You can say to yourself, even if I don't sleep right now, I can still rest. And rest is enough for this moment. I allow myself to soften and to receive rest. And I don't need to solve anything tonight. Something like this, some soothing words. And notice the difference between forcing and allowing. The nervous system responds differently to invitation and the demand. And paradoxically, that very often in these moments when we stop demanding sleep and start allowing rest, sleep comes easily on its own. And many of us spent lives managing, carrying, doing, controlling. And sometimes nighttime sleep becomes one of those projects. But sleep doesn't arrive because we worked hard on it. Sleep arrives when conditions are right. And one of those conditions is surrender, letting go. Simply allowing the moment to be exactly as it is. And let me tell you a story about a traveler who got lost in the forest in the middle of the night. He became very anxious and he walked very fast, started running. He was so exhausted, he was trying to find a way out and he couldn't. It seemed that he got lost even more. And the branches was scratching his face. He was falling. He was scared to hear some noises. He was scared to see these shiny eyes in the darkness. But eventually, he grew so exhausted and tired that he just collapsed beside a tree and got still because he didn't have energy left. And his breath slowed down. And he noticed something he was not able to notice before. A small path only a few feet away from him. And the path was there all along. He simply panicked and couldn't see it. Panic, anxiety, preventing us from seeing what we are looking for, from seeing something valuable. The same relates to the night. When we wake up in the middle of the night, it often turns into worries, anxieties, and panic. We chase, we fight, we demand. And by doing so, we are moving away from the very same thing that we are seeking. Sometimes the path back becomes simply becoming still. Not because stillness guarantees sleep, but because stillness allows nervous system to remember that it is safe. And safety is where sleep grows. So next time you wake up in the middle of the night, and instead of saying to yourself, I can't sleep, not again, how horrible, say, I am awake right now, yes. And again, instead of asking question, how many hours do I have left? Ask another question. How can I make this moment more restful? Instead of fighting your experience, become curious about it, and you might discover something interesting. So the awakening itself is not a problem. The struggle is. The struggle that comes next, that's what the problem. And when we soften that struggle, when we choose not to fight, when we choose curiosity and compassion, sleep very often finds its way back on its own. Okay, thank you for your attention and see you next time.